Good day, everyone. I'm going to tackle about web attacks, what they are, how each one works, and real examples of when they actually happened. I'll cover 5 types of attacks: the SQL injection, cross-site scripting, CSRF, broken access control, and DDoS. And I'll give 5 real cases of web attacks. My report has 2 parts. The first one is about the 5 attack types and how they are different. The second part is the real world cases, actual incidents that happen to real companies. Yes. The first attack is SQL injection. This is when an attacker types malicious code into a login box or search bar. So instead of a normal username, they type something like a command. Yes. And the database runs it like a real command. Yes. So this lets them skip the password or steal all the data inside the database. So there are 3 types of SQL injection. The first one is classic, where you see the result directly. The second one, blind, where you guess the answer based on how the site behaves. And lastly, out of band, where the stolen data is sent to a different server. The first attack is SQL injection. This is when an attacker types malicious code into a login box or search bar. So instead of a normal username, they type something like a command. Yes. And the database runs it like a real command. Yes. So this lets them skip the password or steal all the data inside the database. So there are 3 types of SQL injection. The first one is classic, where you see the result directly. The second one, blind, where you guess the answer based on how the site behaves. And lastly, out of band, where the stolen data is sent to a different server. So, the second attack is cross-site scripting, or also called as XSS. Unlike SQL injection, which goes after the database, XSS goes after the user's browser. So, the attacker hides a script inside a web page, like inside a comment or a post. So, when another person opens that page, the script runs on their browser and can steal their cookies or login session. Yes. So, there are 3 types of XSS. So, the first one is stored, which is saved on the server permanently. The second one is reflected, which comes from a bad link. Yes. And the last one is the DOM based, which happens entirely in the browser. The third attack is CSIFs, or also called as cross-site request forgery. This one is tricky. Yes. So imagine you're already logged into your bank, then you click a link in a suspicious email. That link quietly sends a request to your bank in the background using your login session. So the bank thinks it's you. So it does what the request says. The attacker doesn't steal your password. They just use your browser while you're already logged in. The fourth one is broken access control. This is when a website doesn't check if you're actually allowed to see something. The most common form is called IDOR, or also called as insecure direct object reference. So let me give you an example. So your profile URL is profile ID 1001. So if you change it into 1002 and the website doesn't check it, you can now see someone else's private profile just by changing a number. That's it. The last attack type is DDoS, or also called as distributed denial of service. This one is different from the others. The goal is not to steal data, it is to crash the website. So the attackers use thousands of hacked devices called botnet to send requests to a server at the same time. The server gets overwhelmed and later goes down. So nobody can use it anymore. Yes. Now for part 2. These are not just theory. These attacks have actually happened to real companies, affecting hundreds of thousands of millions of people. Yes. The first case was Equifax on 2017. Equifax is a credit company that holds financial information on millions of Americans. Attackers found a vulnerability in their website and used it to get into their database. They stole social security numbers, birth dates, and financial records of 147 million people. That's almost half the US population. After that, the Equifax paid a $575 million fine. So the lesson here is always validate your inputs and use parameterized queries. The second case was on British Airways on 2018. Hackers injected a small script into a BA's payment page. When customers typed in their credit card number, the script silently copied it and sent it to the attackers without anyone knowing it. So, 500,000 customers had their payment details stolen. British British Airways was fined 20 million euro under GDPR. The third case was Parler in 2020. Parler is a social media platform. Researchers discovered that every post had a simple ID number in the URL, and there were no access controls. They just wrote a script that went through every ID one by one and downloaded everything, including deleted posts that still had GPS location data. Over 70 terabytes of data was downloaded. The platform was taken offline shortly after. The fourth case was the Dean on 2016. Dean is a DNS provider, basically the phone book of the internet. A botnet called Mirai infected hundreds of thousands of home routers and also security cameras, then used all of them to flood Dean with traffic at the same time. So the result is that Twitter, the Netflix, Reddit, and GitHub all went down for hours across the US and Europe just by targeting one company. The last case was Netflix on 2008. A security researcher found that Netflix didn't check where the request came from. So, if a logged in Netflix user click a special link, it would automatically change their email, password, and also account information without them doing anything. So, the account was fully takeover. But later, Netflix fixed it after it was reported. Yes. So, to summarize all of it, each of the five attacks works differently and targets something different, but they all show the same thing. If the developers don't think about security, people might get hurt. People might get hurt. Yes, millions of users, billions of money will lost. So that's why understanding how these attacks work is the first step in defending against them. And I thank you.